Hello you lovely people, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name's Kirsten, this is where I art and craft, and you'll have noticed there hasn't been a lot of videos of late, and there hadn't been a lot of videos even before that, but I've actually been away and I thought I'd start by just running through some of the wee things I picked up while I was away. We were away up north on a little island called Sandy, which is one of the northern islands of Orkney, which is a group of islands that are off the north coast of Scotland. It was wonderful. I'm going to insert a wee picture here of the view out our living room window because everybody's getting to see this view. If you're in Jodie's Facebook group, you'll already seen it. I've got some items I want to show you that I bought on my travels and some items that I've collected. I'm not going to show you everything today, but we did spend a couple of days on the mainland before. I'm talking about the mainland as in Scotland mainland, not Orkney mainland, before going across, and we did have a day driving round Orkney mainland until our ferry was going. So that I've got some bits and pieces from there to show you as well. I've also got some beach bits which I'm not going to show you in this video because I'm going to make something with them in another video. Let's put these aside for a second. I picked up an atlas in a charity shop. Husband said, "Do you really need another atlas?" Sometimes he just doesn't understand. But the reason I picked up this one was because it is the New Concise Atlas of the Earth, and it has some nice pages. A lot of the more modern atlases have very shiny pages, and this doesn't have, but it also has all these extra pages. You see, look at that. See, that's just a cool bit of. It also has all these extra pages of telling you about the earth as well, and then you get onto the maps, which have got a lovely antique feel to them, these kind of detailed town maps, and then this is more kind of into the modernish feel, but and then there's pages and pages of index, which is also great for an atlas. This one is actually dated, I'm imagining it's in the 70s some point. I haven't looked yet. Oh, look at that. How clever am I? It was published 1973, fully revised in 1977. 77 is the last estate. It doesn't actually say when it was. Oh, no. So I think this is a 77 print because that's the latest date that's there. So late 70s, but it does have a kind of 70s feel to it. At the time this would have been quite expensive and quite, oh, look what I've got, look at the dinosaurs I've got pictures of. But we've got so used to these things now and being able to readily get them online that it doesn't have that appeal, so I was able to pick that up for an absolute bargain of a couple of pounds. Then, as I said, I'm going to show you my main beach finds at a later date, but I thought, I saw this and I thought, wow, that's a big bit of pottery. It's not, it's actually plastic, and I reckon it's a plastic boy. So it's really rather cool. If one of these things, it slightly upsets me that we've got all this plastic in the oceans that's not doing our wildlife or even humankind any good as it starts trying to degrade. So I was happy to bring this home. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with it, but it does look a bit like a bit of pottery. And this is another bit of plastic that just feels so nice as well. It feels so beautifully smooth. It has got a slight round to it, so it could have been off a smaller boy. Could have been well, it's too rigid to be something like a frisbee. But this is almost kind of very early type of plastic. I think this one is. I think this one's maybe a more modern one. Anyway, those two types, those two wee bits of plastic I've got. I've also got in here something really special. Look at that bit of rust. And that's a real bit of rust that's been in the water for a long time. And you've got all this oxidation happening here. So it'll have to sit around for a bit, and slowly bits of it will rub off. There's nothing you can do about that. These are actually a lot of the bits that are rubbing off or there'll be bits of sand that have caught on the rust as it's, and eventually it will come down to being a more, but it's just, oh, I love it. I love it. And I think what I'm going to do, I don't know how much of this is going to end up corroding away. I think this is probably, this bit here is I mean, it's as hard as rock at the moment. I think this bit here will probably end up breaking away to a certain extent. I'm going to use it as a hanging thing, I think. It's too big really to go in a journal. I mean, I suppose I could use it on the front cover, but I just love it. I do have another really cool, well, two more cool rusty bits, but they're out in the garden at the moment. This was because it had ended up in with my beach bits that it's ended up in the house. It didn't need to go out in the garden, just to be allowed to be washed by the rain and stuff for a wee while and see what happens to it. I've got this lovely wooden spoon that somebody carved. Don't know what I'm going to do with that either. I got this, and this is what's called boghorn. And boghorn is antlers that are found in peat, and they try and not put them in the fire because you imagine the smell. So they take them out the peat, and then they have these bones that are kind of, I suppose, fossilised to a degree. They are harder than normal antler and bone because they've been in the peat for hundreds and hundreds of years, and this man had made one into a kind of needle, and I thought I can have that because I can use that as some kind of journal cover, closure. You can put a bit through there, have a loop, and then you just slip that through there, and then you've got a fabby journal cover closure. So I really like that. He had another couple as well, and I would have taken both of them, but it was quite expensive. But it was one of those things, because of it being the bog antler, I just had to have it. So it's going to have to go on. I'm going to think very carefully about what journal I end up using it on. I mean, I could use it, well, you can't really use it, so it's too wide to use as a needle as is. I might make a brooch out of it actually. We'll see, but that's something that needs attention. And then I bought this pot because I really liked it. It's supposed to be a little salt pot, but I really liked it, and I'm not using it as a salt pot. It's going to sit in my desk. The spoon will probably end up annoying me no end, so it will probably end up not living in the pot, and I'm just going to use it for putting little bits in. We could start by putting that in. No, that's not a good bit. What I was really thinking was all the little end bits of thread and things that at the moment I tend to throw out because I've got nowhere to keep them without them just ending up, oh look, right, for example, here's a needle that still has a bit of thread on it, and take that off, put that in there, and then I'll end up with a kind of nice, even things like, I've just seen another bit, even things like this, there's a bit of, so sometimes you end up going like that and pulling that bit. Well, I'm just going to put them all in this pot, and then I'm hoping what I end up is I then end up with some cool bits I can put behind things. We'll see, and maybe I need the spoon just to stir them around to get them to catch on each other, but that's what my pot's going to be for. I'll put that back up there. I also have, I've half brought this over, and then I've got this wool which I used to complete a swap I was finishing while I was away on holiday, and I coloured some of it, and I've got some of it left here. I collected it from a fence. There's a kind of creamy colour, there's a white one, there is a brown and a grey. I think one of them has already been totally used. And I hand combed it and hand spun it, and then made it into a little tiny little tiny weaving like that for a tag. And this is what's left over, so I might show you how you might do that yourself if you wanted to. It's quite a long process, but it's nice and relaxing thing to do. Let's get round to this stuff that's been professionally spun, hand spun. Let's make sure you don't see. This is from a company called Knit. Oh, I'm saying a company. It's one person who makes all this. Hand dyes them, the wools. This one is called Speckled Frogs, which I love. It is merino, silk and yak. And it just, I wish you could feel it. It just feels so gorgeous. And this one, same person, and this is merino, mulberry and silk and alpaca. And this one doesn't have a colour on it because it's all mixture colour. This one's kind of soft as well. And I kind of hummed and hawed and thought, and then I thought, I know. So thank you, Jodie, for giving me a reason to buy these yarns. Because if you hadn't done the CCC prompt that included yarn, I wouldn't have had an excuse to buy these. I'm now going to make the CCC prompt for yarn, and you'll see that I will use, this is the one I think I'm going to use. You'll see I'm not going to use very much of it, so it's a very lame excuse actually in reality, but I'm sticking with it. So the other prompts are butterfly and gold. So let me just get my things together and I'll be right back. I have carefully, not very carefully at that point clearly, but taken out one complete strand of this. I didn't want to undo the actual hank at this point because then I'd have to wind it, and I'm not going to wind it at the moment. But I think that should be enough for what I'm thinking, and I've retied it at the start point as well. Here is my base. I've also collected something I forgot to tell you. We found this fabulous chocolate when we were on holiday. It's from a company called Art House Unlimited, and they sell this chocolate to raise funds for work with neurodiverse and special needs adults, and the adults make the pictures that decorate the chocolate, and it comes in this really thick, really cool wrapper, and I didn't know that when we got the chocolate. I just bought it for the wrapper. I've got another bar here which we didn't eat on holiday, but we've still to eat. Love this. I must say this one was bought for the taste, this one was bought for the picture, because actually I thought that would make a nice thing for my journal for being while we were away. But we didn't eat the chocolate, so I wasn't allowed to use the wrapper because we hadn't eaten the chocolate. That's my rules, nobody else's. It's not like somebody's been telling me you can't have that chocolate, can't use that until, I just don't want to use it until I've found it. Anyway, so but this is a really good bit of gold which I thought I would use. I've just seen this little bit of chocolate on it, so I think what we maybe need to do first of all is just give this a wee clean. Well, let's use a bit of this. Everything's more messed up than it was before I went away on holiday, because I actually now can't remember where the bits that I had to put away and stuff. I can't remember now where they are, and of course actually that wasn't the smartest thing to be water, because it doesn't necessarily pick it up. Let's just, this will also smooth it out at the same time, won't it, which is something I was going to do. So let's just spend some time smoothing this out and cleaning it. Now, I've cleaned that all off, and part of me is kind of almost saying maybe I'll put it over the whole thing. What I'm thinking of doing is, I've got these butterflies. Can't remember the name of the kit because I don't have the wrapping and I didn't put it on this bit of paper, which was very silly of me. I think it's called Scribblies. There's a couple of birds as well. It's a Sizzix one, SS5037. I don't know. I thought maybe I'd cut them out of one of them at least. Maybe not that one, that goes a bit... I don't know, I could put it round that way maybe. I'm still going to end up getting some of the white. I'm not inclined to have... Oh no, I could get it like that. Maybe we'll do those two. So this Art House Unlimited, by the way. They do have a website if you want to try their chocolate or just get their... Cool. It was quite funny because you open it up and you've got this golden thing and then there's this, it's like you think, is this Willy Wonka? Look at my work, isn't it fantastic? Chris Hodding, maybe? So that's who I presume did that piece of artwork. Isn't that lovely? Isn't it lovely? So yeah, you can... They have got an Instagram account, so you can go and follow them on an Instagram account as well. It's at arthouse_unlimited. I'll put details on, you know, if you're not in the UK, I don't think they're going to ship to you, but I'll put details for anybody in the UK who is interested in at least looking them up. Even if you decide not to buy the chocolate, but this was gorgeous, really good chocolate. Right, stop doing the sales punt. I am not sponsored by them. I wish I was. I'm just going to trim off. Shall we trim it off? Yes, because we're going to have to trim it off anyway to fit it on here. So let's just trim it off a tiny bit. I probably should be using one of my very many other it's ridiculous because you kind of start with one, you go into another and you go into another. It's just this one's the easiest one to do when I'm filming, although I do have a bigger version of this that I could have, but that's downstairs for if I'm watching the telly and suddenly decide I want to do some. Yes, and I've got the big one over there, but the big one over there you can't see. Am I going to keep this bit? Of course I am. Of course I am. Right, where's this big join we have? I'll take that bit off. As the join is here. Where's the join go? It goes underneath. So let's just take that off. Oh, it's not going to come off cleanly, is it? So let's just take a little slither off here. There you go. Oh, in fact, there's two joins. There's a join on this side as well. So, oh, it folded round. That's why the bottom of the pocket is. That's all one piece. There we go. I'll just hold that up so that you can take a note of that should you wish. You might even be able to scan that QR code if I held it still enough. You'll have to pause and probably see if you can do that if you're interested. It's in the place is in London. I don't know if I said that. So I'm thinking this might be less of a collage than normal. Let's get these two butterflies done if we can. Now I'm just flinging out that one. It's clearly done its business. That one's not much better. Let's just take out a new one. It's getting harder and harder to get these, so I'm very, very precious of them. I'm going to cut that there. Right, shall we try again? Let's try again. That's looking a bit better this time. Now we've got a whole butterfly cut out. And then let's just take these bits away. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Don't know how well it's going to show up against that. I love the fact it's got, see, it kind of does its gold by itself, doesn't it, as well? I'm tempted to, oh, see, I've got, yes, Kirsten, you've got time enough to sit here and remake this butterfly using the other bits. Let's see. That's the door. Okay, this is a wee bit later. I've stuck the bits from the die cut on this bit of gold. I think I'm just going to, that bit there I can't find, so I think I'm just going to cut that bit off there, just because I can't find that bit, and I don't like it though, we're just sticking out with the gold lump, though that was a right fiddly thing to do, but I do quite like how it turned out. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to use both those butterflies now. I also cut, this is the bit at the top. I've also cut this bit of gold off here, and there's a kind of natural kind of break in there. So I'm thinking I might use this as a kind of corner. That one and that one maybe. Something like that. I've also managed to rescue a couple of bits from the bit I die cut from, but I think putting more on might be a bit, see, I'm almost tempted to say what I want to do is just actually put a bit more on this one and not put any down here. So I put those two on there, and then if I used that to kind of do that, yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just cut those in the corner bits there and hope that kind of miters them. I might actually leave that one in place and then stick that one on there. That might be the best way to kind of miter them. Do that on there like that. Yeah, I'm inclined to say I'm just going to leave that on one corner of that. Put these down here. I've still got to do something with my yarn. I think I've done plenty with the gold, but we might keep them just in case I change my mind again. We could do with having a word honeycomb. Presenting, see, it's presenting artistic talents of adults with complex neurodiverse and physical support needs. I could do presenting honeycomb. There's stuff written on the back as well. Not sure about that. I could put, look at my work, isn't it fantastic? Pinch Chris's words. So the art house is a bit big, but I'm wondering about knocking it back and tearing it up and having this as a yeah. I need something on the back, and I haven't really got a collage yet, so I could knock this back and put this on the back as a collage, or I could just, yeah. I need to get the yarn in as well. I'm less concerned about that, though I was originally going to sew the yarn on, but that's not going to happen now, because, well, I could have that gold there and then I could sew on. Oh yeah, let's still do that, and I'll sew a border on this corner with the yarn. So I've got that yarn border there, I've got the gold border there, I've got, do I want 2 butterflies or do I just want 1 butterfly? Okay, I think what I need to do next is do my sewing, because I needed to put the collage down first, so the sewing didn't get in the way of the collage when I was collaging. But now I need something with a, I'm not convinced I'm going to get it through that. I've got a big one, but big ones make bigger holes, that's the trouble. Let's see. So let's start with this one. There's no way I'm going to get that through there. Oh, maybe I will. Haha, you did. Well done, Kirsten. Right, I think I'm going to start at this point here. A butterfly down there, maybe underneath that one there. This butterfly disappears a bit now, doesn't it? Okay, I've just got these indigo blue paints out because I'm trying to use them, because they were in a drawer and I'd forgotten all about them. One of the very many things I discovered. And the reason they were in the drawer and I'd forgotten about them was I thought they were watercolours, and they're not. They're acrylics. What if we just kind of gathered some yarn together, put that underneath it. That actually just looks like more of it, but that's too thick to be doing that. This is where I want my little pot already full of threads, so I could just go put a collection of threads and stick that down. It would just be more of the kind of squiggles on it, wouldn't it? Now, I usually have a gold thread right near me. Where have I put it, I wonder? There's this gold thread. That needs to be in a more accessible place though. It's no good being underneath those other ones. Right, so if I put some of this gold thread behind here, is that going to do the trick? Oh yes. Yes, 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 yes. Don't know quite how I'm going to stick it down when I've got a butterfly that's all oh dear. Oh dearie me. Right, let's put the ends in, and let's, oh see, there's something else that isn't where it should be. Where's my gold tape? It should be, oh it is there, it's just hiding behind. I could use a bit of this gold tape underneath this. Let's just, it needs something just to, a silly thing to say when there's gold all over the place, but it needs something just to brighten it. Just to, oh dear, do I want to splatter it with white? Would I want to do that? Would that be a silly thing to do? Would it just lift it? Is it because of that light making it so shiny? Oh, see, it's better. I don't know if you can see that at all now, but it's better without that really bright light. I better put it back on again though. I am going to put that back up there just now. I am going to leave it, and then one of the jobs I need to think about doing pretty soon is assembling this into some kind of journal, because at the moment I've just got all separate things. I'm going to make it an accordion like most other people's, but I wanted to make the bits first because it's easier making them separate and then putting them together. But yes, okay, we've got our yarn, we've got our gold, we've got our butterfly. It's done. This is CCC JLC number 8 from the lovely Jodie Lewis Creations. You'll find the links down below to Jodie's video, which was 3 weeks ago, and I'll put a link to the chocolate because I've used their chocolate and I've used their art. I've used Chris's art, haven't I? I've used Chris's art, so it's only fair that I put a link down to that. If you're in the UK, the chocolate is fabulous. So I'm just wondering. See, I can't help. I'm just wondering. I'm going to open this up. See, look at that. It's nearly a year you've got as well. It could be. You don't need to eat it for a year. It's going to do that. I'm curious of two things: whether this is also a gold inside, because that other one was yellowy and gold on the outside. This one's blue. Doesn't, you know, it's blue, and it's a blue rather than gold on the outside. So I'm wondering if it's going to be a gold or a blue shiny inside. I'm also wondering whose art this is. It's kind of like you get a wee surprise. I'm trying to get it open without. The art belongs to Chris again. And this isn't, oh, look at the colour of that. Isn't that, that's a kind of bluey greeny, goldy, silvery. That's fabulous colour of foil to have. This is milk chocolate. The other one was plain chocolate. I'm now going to try it for you, just so I can honestly say whether or not you should buy this. It gives you another flavour to try. This is caramel pieces with sea salt. I love the colour of this foil. But look how thick the chocolate is as well. It's a bit warm. It's a bit warm, must admit. It's nice thick chocolate. I've got glue on my so, but good milk chocolate as well. The dark chocolate was beautifully bitter. But that's good milk chocolate. That's proper milk chocolate. Lovely. Oh wow, that's good as well. We'll put that away. We'll put that away. But I love the colour of that. You'll be seeing the colour of that at some point. I'll put that in my drawer. I'll put this. You don't need to see me putting everything away. Because apart from anything else, I'm now going to make number 9, which will be a different video. But I might not tidy up very much in between. But now, thank you so much for watching. You take care. Bye. Keep crafting.